My favorite thing that Brandon talks about is he'll talk about how his dad literally risked his life to cross the border, and then Brandon spends his days making TikToks.
Fought for a good cause, dude. You really risked it all for a good cause.
He's really funny. He makes really funny.
If he knew,
yeah, if only he knew.
If he knew,
if he knew who.
I am going to do this for my family, para mi familia.
I'm doing TikTok
and then
dances.
fast forward to him doing a Chewbacca video. All right, and post.
Today's podcast is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the code ALLGOOD and get $200 in bonus bets. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. KS 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. ccdkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. And SeatGeek. Get $20 off your first order when you use my code NASH. Gabriel Iglesias here with us today. Todd joining us. Brandon joining us. An honor, sir.
Thank you.
Honor to have you here. You are top echelon stand-up comedian, one that will go down in history as one of the greatest.
Thank you.
How do you feel about that?
I feel good. First of all, where is here exactly? Because I feel like we're playing Jumanji, the home game, to get to this amazing layer of because everybody's like, oh, they're probably at some studio or whatever. Nope.
It looks better on camera than making the walk down here through spider webs.
You're somewhere crazy where your GPS it just stops showing streets. It's just blank and it shows the city.
How about the road
Cool.
closage, huh?
Yeah, there's road closures today up on the street.
Gravel. Problems with the gravel.
It's a mansion in the Hollywood Hills. I mean, they want to keep the riffraff out.
Yeah, but the street is blocked off. Unfortunately, I was able to speak Spanish to the guys, and they let me in. Otherwise, I think we would have postponed this. But they're like, no, está bien, compa, dale. And I'm like, all right, let me in. Close the fence when you leave.
I asked, Gabriel was looking at my house, and he goes, let me guess how much it cost. And he goes, $7 million. And I'm like, oh, no. I said, you've just been playing arenas for too long.
You know what? I have a little bit losing touch. I've been looking at houses, but the view is what made me say that. I didn't see your whole house yet. I hadn't been here yet in this part of the facility. But the view alone was wow. Because everything I've looked at that has a view, all of a sudden jumps up.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so, hey, man, props to you for having an amazing looking place that looks like it's worth a lot.
Have you lost touch becoming as successful as you are?
I think the reason why I've lost touch with real estate is probably because I haven't bought a house in forever.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like, everybody wants no, don't let them do that. We'll do it for you. And I have a lot of people that don't let me do things because they're like, no, don't worry about it. We'll get it. And I'm like, it's making me feel like, come on, man. I just want to go ahead. I know how much everything at Jack in the Box cost. They don't do that for me. I got that covered. But, it does happen.
Do you ever do that? Do you ever go on your YouTube channel and just review fast food or anything like that?
No, I'd rather just go hit a drive-through and eat and then review to myself. Yeah. I'll have that again.
What is your go-to if you were going to go to any fast food place?
My go-to is very simple. I'm a very basic bee when it comes to fast food. I just like whatever has meat, cheese, mayonnaise, ketchup. I'm easy.
Right.
I'm really, really easy. So whether it's any of the regular fast food chains or something a little bit more, like whenever I go to a restaurant, I just want to know what has meat, what has cheese. Easy.
And that's what you do.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite kind of food?
Anything meat, cheese.
Anything meat.
Italian is my favorite, actually.
Really?
Italian is my favorite, but it has to have
Meat, cheese.
Meat and cheese. Huh.
Yeah, it's catching on. Yeah, this is good.
How many shows do you do a year?
Anywhere between 250 and 300.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
a lot.
Wow. So
anywhere, everywhere.
Jesus.
You fly private?
Yes, I do.
Yes,
I do. And there's pros and cons to doing that. Pros are you never have to deal with security or just the having to rush to the airport and deal with parking or, baggage, all that stuff at the beginning.
Right.
Going through the airport, you just basically drive up to the plane, you get out, you go in, you take off. And if you're running late, you're running late.
Yeah.
They can't leave without you.
Yeah.
And so that's the really cool part. Cons, it's pretty pricey. It is. And it's a smaller private plane is not as stable as a big commercial plane.
A lot of turbulence.
We had a situation about a month ago where the plane skid off the runway by 200 yards. And we ended up in a field in North Carolina. And it's crazy because as hard as I work, man, for some reason, a bunch of Mexicans still ended up in a field that day. So that's what TMZ reported. Mexicans in field next to plane.
Oh man!
But I'm still doing it. I'm still flying private until I can't.
You sold out Dodger Stadium.
Yes.
What'd that feel like?
Yeah, pretty cool, right?
Holy shit! Oh my god, that's wild.
I know, it's a trip, right?
Jesus.
And
How'd you do that? You're in a dungeon now.
We're so sorry.
With fake grass.
I jumped the shark, and now we're in the backyard.
Now you're in the dungeon.
No, that was incredible. That was the greatest night of my life. Greatest night of my life. Greatest night of my career. Greatest night of my life was being on that stage. The biggest show I've ever done, and it was at home. So I told people, if it goes well, awesome, and if not, it's a short drive.
And just imagine, I'm just imagining when you walk out there and just the roar. Did you take it all in?
I sure did. And you know what? I thought I was going to be nervous, but I was more relaxed than anything. Imagine 50,000 people there who all they want is to see you do good. They're happy to see you. Yeah. And this is as big a moment for them as it is for you.
Yes, it is.
It was a huge homecoming, and it was like a celebration. I did a 2-hour set against Netflix's will. And
oh, you filmed it for Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I did a 2-hour set, and then I started, once I completed my set, I just continued, and I cracked a cooler, and I started drinking on stage, and everybody was like, yeah! And I wound up polishing off a bottle, and then I brought my host out, Martine, and we just started telling stories about what it took to get there, and the whole crowd was just hanging out, and then we started playing music, and then I got a fine. Yeah, it was.
Damn. There is something about going in your hometown, and I can only imagine. Like I played Boston. People come up to you and they see you and they're like, I don't know. There's something about it. They see you in them. It's really nice.
The success is definitely shared.
How do I get good at stand up, Gabriel? I'm trying. Tell me. You're the guru.
I couldn't tell you. Honestly, every night I just go out there and I want to make sure that everyone feels, welcome. Everyone feels part of the show. I'm not just there to freaking do my thing and check out. Mm-hmm. As soon as I show up, I want to make sure that, I'm looking around and just being grateful and thanking everybody and reminding them.
That doesn't work for me. I try that.
It is important.
I'm still bombing. Yeah. You guys are the best.
You gotta
get on with it.
Yeah.
Tell some jokes.
Come on, man.
But you guys are so great.
Show your girlfriend's tits. Come on, man.
Does everybody feel welcome? I'll try.
You.
I wish I could teach it, because then it would be something else to be able to do. I don't know.
Can you not?
And maybe it's because I don't know how to do it. Is that why it's so successful?
Can you not teach stand-up comedy?
I don't think I could.
But can anyone?
Well, it's like, have you ever heard of a stand-up? I mean, there's comedy classes. Have you ever heard of a stand-up comedian going to a comedy class?
Kevin Hart.
Really?
No.
I was like, oh, wow, okay. I guess it does pan out. But I don't think it is something you could really teach, right?
Well, people try.
Yeah.
There's a lot of comics out there, and that's a side hustle. They'll either do that or they'll do the driver's training. You hear that?
Yes.
You go get you get a ticket. You can go, instead of going to like an online course, you can take a course from a comedian, and they make it funny. And like, all right, hey, so we're all here, huh? You too slow, huh? Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's people who got DUIs have to go watch bad comedy. That's what it is.
That's
the basic premise
My
of the
friends
show.
used to do it. They were like improv people, and they didn't have jobs, and so they're like, yeah, we're gonna go talk to these degenerates and try to make them laugh. And
yeah. That's part of the routine of things that comics do aside from comedy. So whether it's teaching a course like that or teaching comedy, doing warm-ups sometimes, it's like one of those things where it's like I found myself doing that. And fortunately this
You used to warm up crowds?
I used to do warm-ups.
For TV?
Yes, in English and Spanish. And just let me let you know now, my Spanish is basically I can order food. That's as far as I could go. And I had to do warm-ups for some of these shows. And they're like, Wow. And they would ask, you speak Spanish? Si. As long as you put an accent on it, you're good, man. Si. Oh, he's legit. He's good. And then I'd go out there, and I'm sure the producers could hear me, and they're like, who hired this dude? And I just needed to make money. And so, of course, I'm not going to say no. I'm like, no, you want me to do it? I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll let you fire me.
I read something to hire you for a birthday party. It's anywhere from, and of course this is Google, $135,000 to $250,000. Rob, can we comment on that? Is that true?
I will comment, and it all depends on the
how rich the person is.
No, because I've turned down a lot of money before because it didn't feel right. If I'm doing a show that's private and there's a legit stage and the seating and it's set up and it's conducive to a comedy show, I'm all about it. But if you want me to just be around a dinner table and tell jokes, I had someone that wanted me to just hand out presents and be humorous while handing out presents and sing happy birthday to this person, very, very wealthy, from overseas. And they wanted me to do this at the, what's the name of that hotel? It's is it Mandarin Hotel? It's a very high-end hotel that's in New York. And they wanted me to do
Mandarin.
It is okay. So they wanted me to do the thing there, dinner table, basically be humorous while handing out gifts for about 12 people. And
how do you be humorous handing out gifts? What's
you.
in this one?
Thank you, right? And I'm like, I'm not sure how that. My agent was like, dude, this is easy money. I go, then you do it. You go out there and you be humorous and hand out gifts to all these guys. I just couldn't do it. Yeah. And
how
I
much
passed
did you
on
turn
it.
down?
Whew. It was more than two. It was more than two. I was like, nah, man, I'm not gonna go be the toy. I'm not gonna be the toy.
Brandon?
Wait, I don't, 2 million, 200,000,
no, 200,000.
Whoa,
Brandon, would you go?
But think about it. Think about it. Okay, you're at a table and everybody feels next level entitled. You're handing out gifts. You're being humorous, and everybody has their phone out there recording you being their toy.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna post that, and then how's that gonna look later? Oh,
probably lose
fluffy hoe out there handing out gifts.
Probably lose you more money.
Next thing you know, I'm getting calls for quinceañeras, and like, we want Fluffy at RC. Can you hand out presents and be funny?
You'll
watch the dog. Yeah,
you'll have $20 million by the end of the year. I know.
What's the cost of dignity, though?
I'm being.
What's the cost of
I couldn't
keeping your?
Well, listen. I'm glad you have your integrity.
Let me just say though, I turned it down. I turned it down because I'm in the position I'm in now.
Yes.
You catch Gabriel Iglesias, 1997.
Selling 1998, working at AGT.
Oh, he would have been very humorous, handing out. I would have wrapped the gifts. I would have opened them for him.
Let's talk about your work at the cell phone store. This is what I'm most interested in about you. I read today that in 1997 you were working selling cell phones at which company?
Yes, I was working for a company called LA Cellular, which became AT&T.
Okay.
Before that, I was working for Robinson's May Department Stores, which became Macy's. And a buddy of mine got me to go jump ship and go work over there as a salesperson inside of a Walmart in a kiosk. And so I was just basically there selling phones. And it was back when phones were like durable. Like right now, you drop an iPhone, and you're paying $100 to replace the glass. Whereas back then, I was selling a phone called a Motorola PC550 flip phone. And that phone was literally a brick. And when you talk on the phone for 10 minutes, you could feel the tumor growing from all the it was like wearing a microwave, dude. They were indestructible. And the phone, you could talk on them for like a week, one charge, and you were gold. Like it would last forever. Wow. And so I sold those phones for a little while, and I was doing really, really good.
Yeah.
I remember I went to Wilson's House of Suede, and I bought myself a really badass leather jacket. That was the place to go back in the day. I was like, yeah. I'd rock my leather jacket at the store, and everybody's like, nice jacket. Slanging phones. Yeah. It was cool.
Today's podcast is brought to you by DraftKings. Yes, we love DraftKings. They've been sponsoring me for years. Can you believe we've had 7 months without an NFL game? Crazy, right? Well, good thing that's over. NFL is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving you a can't-miss offer for Week 1. This week, new customers get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings DraftKings is hooking everyone up with game day greatness. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. That's right, guys. So go and download the DraftKings app. They've been supporting me for years, and I'd love to return the favor to them. So go to the link in the description and check out DraftKings. Download now and use code ALLGOOD to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code ALLGOOD only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. KS 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. ccdkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. All right, guys, back to the podcast.
I was doing that during the day,
Yeah.
and then I was doing stand up at night. And what I found with stand up is you couldn't just do your show and then take off and go home and sleep and then be ready for work the next day. You got to hang out. I don't know how it is now, but back in the day, you would hang out with other comics and you'd talk and you'd give each other tags, and then you'd recommend, hey man, someone so and so has a room. Let me give you his number. It was all about networking. You had to actually talk to people. There was no phone to write down or to search. There was no Google search. And so you had to talk to people and network.
That's what I don't do.
Hang out at Denny's at 3 o'clock in the morning and watch somebody do karate kicks in the parking lot.
I do my set and I leave.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's the problem.
You're not expanding, dude. You got to expand.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Horizons.
at least that was the case back then. So burning the candle at both ends, working all day, and then doing comedy at night and coming home at 3, 4 in the morning, and then trying to be up at 8 to, be back on the job.
Yeah.
It caught up to me pretty quick.
Yes.
And I started falling asleep at work. I would sleep in my kiosk, and I got caught.
Yeah.
I got caught sleeping.
Did you get fired?
I didn't get fired for that because I got caught by one of the employees at Walmart, not by like a manager or somebody who could call me out.
Yeah.
But it happened a few times.
Uh-huh.
And then eventually I just took a chance and went for it. And then I got evicted and lost all kinds of, I wound up sleeping on my brother's balcony for about 3 months.
Not with this view.
Not with this view. No, I had a breathtaking view of an alley.
Todd's a huge fan of yours. He asked to come today. So
Been watching. I mean, I used to watch you with my aunts and my mom back in the day.
That's
Fluffy.
crazy.
Who's Fluffy? Oh, Fluffy. So
This is
big honor.
this is really a Make-A-Wish. This is not a podcast.
Nice, right?
Yeah, I'm dying.
Yeah. Just letting you know that off the bat.
dying from good looks.
Yeah. Well, it just so happens we have some gifts here. I'm going to hand them to you humorously.
Oh man. But no,
You got any good questions for him you want to ask?
I think you
this is your chance.
Come on, dude. Don't get all bashful.
Yeah, don't get shy. He's a regular guy.
making me nervous. I'm just kidding. No, yeah. So after you're selling cell phones,
Off to a bad start.
It's okay.
Shell phones.
Shell phones.
Yeah, they were seashells.
So when you were living on your brother's balcony, did you just go full stand up like you went for it, or like?
Yeah, once I quit my job, the money ran out really fast. Even though I was making a lot of money, it ran out really quick because I didn't know how to, budget and all that. So, yeah, I got evicted from the apartment I was living in, and then my brother took me in, but he was an apartment manager, and he did not want people to come because people were always coming to his door. Hey, and it was a huge complex, so people were always knocking on his door. There's a problem. The sink's backed up. The toilet's messed up. They're always having him address things. And his whole big gripe was he hated it when people would say, "Oh, there's so many people living in the apartment," and then it was more than that. Every time he'd show up, there'd be people laid out on the floors. So his whole thing was when people come to the house to knock on the door, they can't see me sleeping on the sofa. Because then he'd be a hypocrite. But if I was sleeping on the balcony, they wouldn't see me, and I could stay there, and it would not be an issue. Yeah.
What's
and
the situation in the balcony? Is it
balcony.
covered? Or
What's that?
is the balcony covered at least?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess it was covered. I
There's
mean,
a
it's
sliding glass
California,
door.
so
It's Southern California.
we were outside, so I mean, I guess it's like one step above being homeless. Because at least I was like, all right, we're good. The bugs can't get to me because he had a screen, but. Yeah, I did that for 3 months, and then my sister found out, and she's like, "What the hell? He has you sleeping on the balcony?" So then she took me in, and then she put me on her couch, and I rode her couch for about a year until I was able to make enough money to pay half rent.
Yeah, because when I saw you on TV, I was super young, so I can't remember which show. but I saw you on TV and you're in front of a big crowd, and I think that's when you were first kind
It was
of.
Last Comic, probably.
Was it? I think.
How old are you?
I'm 32. Holy
32.
shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it wasn't
Trying
that?
to do the math.
Yeah, me too.
It's like, how
So
old
I was born in
I?
91. You started in 97.
Also, like Comedy Central.
So,
and
yeah, I think it was
tons of
Comedy
stuff.
Central.
Comedy
Early
Central was my
2000s,
first.
right?
Yes,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sounds right.
Yeah.
How was Last Comic?
Last Comic
What was it like? Were you nervous then? Like you were pretty new, right?
When I did Last Comic Standing, I was already considered a seasoned comic because I was already on the road headlining, and so they were trying to feature these new comics, and I had gotten a phone call, and I'm sure everybody knows already that Last Comic was very political. It was as it was as real reality TV can be, and they wanted me on the show.
Yeah.
And at the time, I wasn't really doing much. I was just kind of like, I'm on the road, and like, will you take some time off? And we think you'd be a great addition on the show. And they made me the ringer on the show. Like, oh, he's the guy. And so they pinned me up against Josh Blue, who was,
Yep.
the comic.
Josh Blue, yeah.
Yeah. And so they made it to where it's like, oh, his story versus this guy who's like the shoo-in to win.
Yeah.
And they kind of made it like this thing, and that's what they do.
Yeah, it's
and
what
I
they
wound
do.
up getting disqualified from the show because I snuck in a cell phone. I actually snuck in 3. I snuck in 3.
You sell them?
What's that? Well,
sell
you
this-
got to remember, I had some connects, and
Yeah,
so
you were still working on
They
the
never
side.
wanted you to have a connection to the outside because they thought you were going to get jokes from the outside world. I'm like, man, please. I'm just trying to keep tabs on my girl. I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. I got to know what she's up to.
Yeah, right.
And so I knew they were going to take away my cell phone the first day. So I brought in a dummy phone. And then here you go. All right, here, take this dummy phone. They put it in a Ziploc, and we'll give it back to you when the show's over. All right, take good care of it. And then as soon as I got in my room, freaking plugged in my phone, my little, And Josh was nice enough to not tell anybody.
Yeah.
But he saw the wires and everything all over the place. And,
And how'd you get busted finally?
So,
This is, by the way, this is
Josh.
the biggest. I look for controversies about Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah.
This is the biggest controversy.
So, I was-
he had
I
a
was
BlackBerry
basically-
with him.
yeah, this
Blackberry
was BlackBerry.
Storm.
That's how long
This
ago
is
it was.
it.
Oh, wow.
I had a BlackBerry. So I was sitting on a couch like this, right? And there was a bunch of cameras all over the place, and they were filming all kinds of things on the Queen Mary. And I was just in the corner sitting on the couch, and I had my phone, and I pulled out my phone, and I just kind of started like, I was doing this, and I was just kind of and I guess I was looking down a little too long, and next thing I know, I look up, and the camera's right in my face. And the guy goes, "What do you got there, Gabriel?" I'm like, "Oh." They're like, "Is that a cell phone?" Mother, like, yeah. And then the guy just like, and then so I handed over the phone. I was like, "Mother, God damn it." I got popped. And they made it a big old thing. They brought legal down. I guess I had broken some rules by doing that.
And that's it. You're out. Do you perform that night?
No, they let me stay on the show an extra 3 days because they planned this whole thing to do a roast on me, and so they didn't want to lose out on that. So they allowed the show to continue for a few more days, and then all of a sudden we need to have a meeting, and we've talked to legal, and you got to go. Yeah, and I made history for being the first Mexican ever deported off TV. It was pretty cool. And then I had a lawyer who was like, "Yeah, we'll get you back on," and it just turned into a big old thing, and it worked out.
It blew you up from there too, right? I mean, the show probably really helped.
I mean, again, attention's attention on TV, and I was featured as a comedian, and my face was out there, and so even though I got the boot, people were talking about the fact. Still, 20 some odd years later, people are still talking about the fact that I got booted off the show, which is pretty cool.
And you lost a ton of weight too recently, right?
I found it.
Oh no! I heard you lost 100 pounds.
You know what? My heaviest I weighed was a little bit shy of 450.
Okay.
And right now I'm about 350.
That's great.
I'm still a big dude. But yeah, it's a lot of weight. It's a lot of weight. And I've done yoga. I've done different types of exercise and workouts to get there. Right now I'm just kind of just laying low.
You should come to yoga with us.
I gained a bunch of weight, and then COVID hit, and then I was able to get a personal trainer during that time I was home, and I lost like 70 pounds during that time. And then I
good.
went back on the road, and now we're here. Yeah.
The road is the
I
worst.
fit on the couch. That's all I got to say. With another person. Just be clear.
A lot of meat and cheese.
A lot of meat and cheese. A lot of meat and cheese.
The road is the worst for eating.
It is, and I'm making a lot of excuses. I know it's me. I've been able to manage everything in my life with exception to the eating.
Right.
That's the hardest thing in the world for me to do. I can get up on stage in front of 50,000 people, no problem. no problem. And if I had to, I could hand out gifts in a humorous manner if I had to. But man, this meat and cheese thing,
Meat and cheese.
I'm just dealing.
It's your kryptonite.
It is my kryptonite.
Dang, dude.
Birria tacos?
Say it again.
Any birria?
Birria.
Birria. Those are
If you can't say it, I can't talk.
Birria. Birria.
Birria.
Birria.
Birria.
Birria.
Yeah, you got
Birria.
You're Mexican.
Hey, I'm a quarter.
Oh, cool.
You're a quarter?
I'm a quarter
I'm more
Mexican.
Mexican than you.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, wow.
But I act more Mexican than you.
Yeah, you do, actually. And you also look more Mexican than me.
Thank you.
I want to hear this. What are the pieces? What are
The
you?
pieces? So my mother, she's half Italian, half Mexican.
Okay.
And then my dad's just white.
Wait a second. Jason, did you just call up the only 2 Mexican guys you know? Is that what this is? You're like, oh, I just need some.
This is
I
what
didn't
happened.
realize.
I told my friend David Dobrik that you were coming. I just said it offhand. He's like, "Who's coming on the podcast?" I go, "Gabriel Iglesias." He goes, "What?" He goes, "Fluffy." And I go, yeah. So then I was like, all right, well, probably because I'm friends with all younger guys because of YouTube. So then I called these guys up, and they were fans too. You just happened to be
Sure.
Mexican.
Sure we did. Oh, sure. Yeah, we just happen to both have.
happen to be Mexican.
My last name's Calvillo. Well, I didn't know you were Mexican at all.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I took my dad's last name, but my mother is Mexican and Italian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the one guy in the room that actually does look Mexican is probably like what, Middle Eastern? What are you? Indian? What's the deal, bro?
Pop your head in.
Indian. See, look at that.
I thought you were Mexican too. No way. Yeah, really. I really thought I did.
Oh, he's Indian.
Oh, I didn't know, dude. I'm
We got a
sorry.
lot of fake
Yeah, so
Mexicans
I'm
here.
looking around the room like, okay, everybody's mixed. You're half Italian, half Mexican, half white.
Are you Lebanese?
White.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm a quarter Middle
look-
Eastern, actually. I did the DNA thing, and it came out 75% Caucasian, 25% Middle Eastern.
Caucasians.
Yeah, it's
Caucasian.
everybody's a little bit mixed up.
Yeah.
You're what, half Mexican, half Jamie Kennedy?
I have never heard. I've been friends with him for 10 years. I've never heard that. That's great.
You're the second
Jamie
person to say.
Kennedy.
He's the second person to say that.
Second person?
I walked in, I was like, hey,
You're like, ah, damn. It's not Jamie Kennedy.
Hi, Jamie. Jamie's cool people.
Who do I look like?
You look like a homeowner, bro. You look like someone that could afford a $7 million house.
I can't. We'll see how this podcast does.
But it's 2 million.
Yeah, it's falling off the hill. Who does he look like?
Well, I half Italian, half Mexican, half white. That's a whole lot. So I guess, where did you learn? Yeah, so a lot of. Do you know more Italian than Spanish?
No, I know more Spanish than Italian.
Okay.
Not much Spanish though. I'm
much
working
Spanish.
at Duolingo. Hola. ¿Cómo estás?
Good start.
Don't embarrass yourself. Todd's our best-looking friend.
No, that's not true. I take pride, and I sound like the guy from Duolingo.
All right.
¿Cómo estás?
Como está?
Bien.
Y
E2.
tú.
That's good, dude.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
starting.
funny. Yeah. Is that how it goes?
That's how he sounds.
Yeah. That was my
great.
quarantine thing, was trying to learn Spanish. I did it for about 2 days and just gave it up.
He did.
My dad was so proud. He's like, "Oh, you're doing Duolingo? That's good." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "How much Spanish you know?" I'm like, "Un poco." And then he's just like, "All right."
He's like, no, that's your dick.
Yeah. right, exactly.
Didn't your dad speak it to you growing up?
He did, but my mom. So my dad's Mexican. He's from Mexico, and my mom's from Orange County. And she was like, "Oh, you don't have to teach him that. He's never going to need to learn that." I was like, half of my family speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so my dad spoke it around me, but he never like taught me it. But I can understand it too. Like, you
¿Entiendes
can.
lo que te estoy diciendo?
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
about
that's
the
funny because
home?
usually that's the case where you understand, but you're always taught from a young age. Shut up and listen. Don't talk while others are talking. And so you're just sitting there and they're just talking to you.
Yep.
And you're not supposed to reply. And if you do, it's more like, sí, okay, bueno. You're like one word answers and they're like, he's a good boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Good boy. So like, yeah, I could totally understand and listen in on conversations and understand what everybody was talking about, but I could not. I'd sound like him whenever like I start talking, with the wording. It's just because I still think in English.
Yep.
And so that you got to translate it and then say it, unless I'm talking about food, and then it flows.
Spills right out.
My favorite
Yeah.
thing that Brandon talks about is he'll talk about how his dad like literally like risked his life to cross the border, and then Brandon spends his days making TikToks.
Fought for a good cause, dude. You really risked it all for a good cause.
He's like really funny. He makes like really funny.
Like if he knew,
TikTok.
then,
Yeah, if only he knew.
If he knew,
If he knew who.
I am going to do this for my family, para mi familia.
I'm doing TikTok
And then
dances.
fast forward to him doing a Chewbacca video. All right, and post.
Oh man.
Los niños.
Yeah, dude.
Niños, mi familia.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's your like day to day like now? You're just always on the road.
Day to day, I'm always on the road. This week, I got 5 shows this week, so I'm home today, tomorrow, and then I'm out again. Last night I was in in Orange County at the amphitheater, Pacific Amphitheater.
Okay, great.
So I did that show, and then the day before that I was in Tucson, and the day before that I was in Flagstaff. So it's always go, go, go.
How do you like the heat?
The heat was really
Arizona.
bad on stage. Like I was sweating up a storm. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I want to show a picture. My tour manager basically was showing me the amount of the way that we travel, and there's a map that shows the crisscrossing. It's pretty crazy to see. This is the map. This is what it looks like. My tour. This is what my
Dang.
tour looks like.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
So
Damn.
if you want to go ahead and show that, or I'll send you the thing. So you
Yeah,
can-
let me take a photo.
But yeah,
of that. That's insane.
Oh wow. That's a lot of money on that private jet, man.
yes.
Dang.
And fortunately, the tour is going very well. Otherwise,
Yeah.
there's no way I would do it.
Who do you watch that you like really love in stand up?
Comics that make me laugh. Oh man, Bill Burr makes me laugh. Jim Jeffries, Tom Segura, Chappelle.
Yeah.
Chris Rock. Comics that push the envelope and take chances that I would never take.
I see.
You know, I my whole brand is very much everybody's welcome. We're keeping it cool. I'm not going to ruffle feathers. And some people might say, "Oh, well, you're not really, are you really doing comedy?" Dude, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm making sure that everybody can come and enjoy the show and people feel safe at my show. So I'm not trying to get political and stuff like that, but I love hearing political humor. I love hearing comics that just speak their mind freely and say whatever they want to say.
Right.
I remember I hung out with Jim Jeffries, and he's one of my favorites. I did his podcast, and afterwards we went to go pee, and we're right there side by side going, and I just looked at him and said, "Hey Jim, can I tell you something?" "Yeah, go ahead." I envy your ability to be as open and free as you want on that stage and to be able to just say whatever you want. I go, I envy that. And he looks at me and he says, "I envy your money." I was like, touche.
It's a good Jim Jeffries.
But yeah, so comics that push the envelope. That's who I like to watch.
Yeah.
But I do try to keep the show fun and friendly. And yes, I have an opinion, but I save that for the bar.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's really great to.
I think a lot of times comics get in the situation where once they get a certain level of fame, all of a sudden they have an agenda. Now they want to speak. Now they have an opinion on X, Y, or Z. And I think you do a disservice to your fans by doing that. All of a sudden when you change, we're like, whoa, this is not what I signed up for.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so you have to always remember the people are there to support you, and they're there to grow on this trip with you. And if all of a sudden you start doing things that ruffle feathers and cause you to have friction, some people are going to go with you and some people aren't.
Do you think that you'll ever retire?
I talk about it a lot.
You have enough money, right?
It's not a financial thing. It's not trying to stay on the road, pay for that, whatever.
The Chihuahuas.
For those Chihuahuas, yeah.
Chihuahuas can't be that expensive.
Got to pay for them dog beds, man. I talk about it only because the last thing I want is to be a shell of myself and be like, man, that guy back in the day, remember how funny he was? I don't want people to talk about me that way. And I would rather leave on a high note, because I actually thought about retiring after Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
I thought, what an incredible way to freaking say goodbye, like on the biggest stage, biggest show ever at home. Thank you, good night, write the book, call it a day. But I'm still young enough to be able to tour and go out there, and I still love it.
If you did that, if you retired after Dodger Stadium and you walked away, what would you do?
Honestly, I would have focused 100% on my health. I would have just gotten away from everything that caused me to get big and work on just, I want to spend the money. I work too hard to leave it behind to people that have no idea how to budget. Yeah, I'm trying to build Mexican Graceland at my house. I got the cars. And over here's where Fluffy used to blow it up. And over here's the Fluffy gym. It looks new, doesn't it? Yeah. That'd be sick. We could go Fluffy car collection. And so I would definitely just focus on that.
Well, why don't you do that? Why don't you go to 100 shows a year and focus on your health?
You know what? I make excuses. I do. I never want to not perform as much as I can because I feel like if I'm not, then you lose a step. You know, people think, oh, you could just pick up the mic and just start over. Yeah, for me, it's muscle memory. No pun intended. It's a workout in my mind. I have to constantly be doing it in order to stay sharp and to be able to navigate. Because otherwise, like as it is, when I get home and I have like 3-4 days off, that first show that I come back on Thursday or Wednesday, I'm always, like I got to second guess myself.
You're off.
And that's only from a few days of not doing it. So if I was to take big breaks.
Damn.
Man.
I've been on stage for 3 weeks and I got a gig tomorrow night. I'm
But that's me. That's me. That's not everybody.
Me.
Now, why not just do 100 shows and then focus on everything else? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I saw Bert Kreischer the other day.
Speaking of which, I was about to say, this thing has become a machine, and then you did that.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Look at that transition
right here.
Damn, right here, dog.
You should open for him tomorrow.
You should open for
Can
me.
can I do a
That'd be
type
the
5?
worst. Can you imagine he opens for me and then I come out?
Yeah, it's like, can you get off the stage?
That's my big concern.
Can you imagine how big of a mind like what that would be to a crowd?
And now,
Got this guy. He's been working on his set for Conan. Conan's not even around.
Sometimes when I go into these places, they'll be like, "Do you want an opener?" And I'm like, I guess." And then sometimes they're way funnier than me, and I'm like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
it's the worst." But then I guess that's good too. It raises your game.
I feel like having strong openers definitely raises your game, and
Yeah.
it keeps you from being lazy and complacent.
Yeah.
Because if you see these guys rocking it, you're like, man, you're in the back. You're like, okay, all right, let's talk about this. And you start Rain Manning yourself. Okay, line up this joke with this joke and this bit. Here we go.
Right.
And go out there.
But yeah, I saw Bert the other day, and he was he got up to 270, and now he's down to he's trying to get back to 230. He lost 20 already, but it's the same thing. He's out on the road. He's in a tour bus.
With Bert, hey man, see in my case, hey, if I want to put on a big jacket or put on a big shirt to try to cover certain things up, but Bert's freaking, he raw dogs his audience. He's just out there gut to the wind, and so yeah, I think I would train a little bit harder if people could see everything.
Right, but then that's also part of it too. People love to see. His body and his shirt off.
That is the
and they're
most
like,
pro body. Like
bigger the better.
I wish I was that confident.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me too.
Even at the beach, I'm just like looking around.
Who are some of the people that you've worked with that you were like maybe on a movie or a TV show or that's like blown your mind, been really cool?
You know who surprised me, and I shouldn't say surprised me because he's very talented, is Joe Coy. Joe Coy, when I had my series a while back, he came on as a special guest for the week, and man, he was just on it, like with the script and the back and forth and rehearsals. And, when we do 2, 3, 4, 5 takes, he would still hit his mark every single time. And then he would improvise. And he was so quick and sharp, and everybody was laughing. And I'm like, that's awesome. Because then him doing that made me freaking, so we had a couple scenes together where, man, it was just so funny.
What show is this?
It was Mr. Iglesias on
your
Netflix.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today's podcast is also brought to you by SeatGeek. Yes, baby. The one and only SeatGeek. We love him. We love him. We love him. SeatGeek has been with me for so long. They've sponsored me for years. I've been in the YouTube game for 8 years now. And SeatGeek has been with me every step of the way. The first sponsor on this podcast. The one and only. The best place to get tickets. The app that you have to have on your phone if you want to be cool and you want to be the guy that's like, hey, man, anything can happen. You know what I mean? Because if you have the SeatGeek app on your phone, by the way, it's a ticketing agency. If you don't know what it is, they sell tickets. You could sell your tickets on there, but I use it to buy tickets. You can buy tickets to any concert event in any city. It's fantastic, and they've got all the best concerts on there. Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Coachella, Lollapalooza. I've seen them all. I've done it all, and if you want to be a cool guy or a cool girl, get the SeatGeek app, have it on your phone, and right now, guys, if you go to the link in the description, you're going to get $20 off your first order when you use my code NASH. $20 off right away, right off the top. Done. Go check out SeatGeek. They're the best. They've been an incredible partner to me. They've stuck around. $20 off your first order. Go. Download it. Okay. Go get the app. You get $20 off. Okay. Link in description. All right, back to the podcast. What about love life, Gabriel? What's happening? Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, my phone's not going off, so that should tell you something. I'm talking about my dogs. And
Meat and cheese.
meat and cheese, dogs. That's pretty much the love life right there.
He's single.
Yeah. Well,
Are you trying to set us up?
Nice,
What's
right?
going on here, dude?
No, I'm just saying.
Well, he's
Two
single.
guys could hit the town.
Right. Yeah.
Is that code?
And the town, you mean get some meat and cheese?
That's what you're saying,
You got
dude.
any TikTok ideas for Gabriel that could crush?
Have you heard of the woe? Have you heard of the
No, what's the woe?
The woe is where you toss something up and then you do this. You know? Like that.
It's like
You do this, you go like this, and then you do this, and that's the video. And that's all you do.
You throw something up, you do like magician, and then you catch the
And then
thing.
you catch it. And then usually there's like a trendy song playing in the background or so. Oh, yeah, we got something.
The
up there.
whoa. Oh, shoot. Okay.
This is the lazy woe. See, he's not really into it. That's what the kids are doing nowadays,
I
Gabriel.
thought you were physically throwing something up, or you're acting like you're throwing something up.
We're acting like you're throwing something up, yeah. There he goes.
this is the idea you're pitching to great Gabriel
this
Iglesias.
this is what's
This
trending right
is.
now?
I think this would work out really great for you, actually. I think
This
you
is
should
a
do this.
2016 trend.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been doing this for since 2016, dude. Oh, dang.
Always works.
I'm out of date.
You should see my numbers.
Dang.
I'll see what I can find. I touch TikTok maybe once a month.
Yeah.
Once a month, I'll post a video of something that's trending, and for some reason, it does very well. TikTok, like I kill it on TikTok.
TikTok loves you. I've
And,
seen it. Yeah.
But it's crazy because it's almost like life, where it's like I give it very little attention,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh my god, just I'm here for you, whatever you need, Fluffy. But then I'm like, every day I'm on Instagram, and Instagram's like, God, get out of my face, you know? God, it's you again. Like I'm always on Instagram, and Instagram does less than half of the.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Why
I
is
don't know.
that,
But
Bram?
yet, if I try to promote something on TikTok, TikTok's like, no, you will not be promoting on this platform. But if you want to do something stupid,
Yep.
we'll play.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I look at TikTok like, let's just go have fun.
They don't want you posting anything that would get attention off the app.
Yes.
That's their biggest thing.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing that pulls off unless you're selling something on TikTok.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, give us a cut and we'll promote your.
And I think honestly, why things do better on there. I think it's just like there's more people on there, and it's less like serious. Instagram feels like serious.
Yeah.
A lot of time it's like very like mannered and like put together, and like TikTok's just like free, like oh whatever, you know. And I think that like holistic like grounded is what does good on TikTok.
I think it's just the way the interface is set up. TikTok, I can watch 10 videos
Yeah.
in 10
Yes.
seconds. And Instagram, I'm like,
yeah.
what?
And it's a photo and it
picture,
stops.
it's a
and you're just like
video.
bored. You're like, I don't want to see your, bachelor
Not the
party
same.
or whatever.
And then Instagram doesn't like it when you share a TikTok video on Instagram.
Yeah. It's like competing. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
two
It's weird.
apps
You've
competing.
built your whole audience without social media.
No, actually, everything has been based on social media.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I got into social media because of Dane Cook. Dane Cook and Tila Tequila
Oh,
back in the
MySpace.
day were killing it on MySpace.
Yes, I remember.
MySpace was the first big social media platform, and it just... I remember comics. We'd all freaking sit there and be like, freaking Dane Cook selling out another arena? What the hell? How's he promoting? And he was doing everything via MySpace. I shouldn't even do this because it wasn't even on the phones yet. It was still freaking, you had your top 5 friends, and we're all just watching him. And I don't think Dane Cook gets enough credit for being that guy that got comics into it. Because by the time I jumped in, he was already on Facebook.
Damn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not keeping up. And so I was like, all right. And once I got into the flow of just constantly being on it and nurturing it and growing it, then it turned into a monster. Because then I didn't have to rely on an HBO or an NBC or someone else to promote me. I was responsible for promoting myself. You know, and I think that drove it a lot. Don't get me wrong, I had a good publicist who would help and get me on these shows. Because I know you can't be saying that you're promoting yourself and just yourself. No, there's a team of people. But having good social media and being in touch, I call it grassroots marketing.
Yeah.
And so that's, letting people know. And then engaging with people, being the person that replies. That's huge.
Yeah.
Or reply with a video, like, oh my God, he's really on here. Because do you think Beyonce really runs her own freaking social media?
She doesn't?
Bajillion freaking followers. She's sitting there.
She didn't
Hold on, Jay-Z. Let me reply to freaking Tom over here in Orlando.
Jason doesn't run his.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, dude.
I ate something out of the trash the other day. Have you ever done that?
My trash.
Segues are just completely
Yeah,
non-existent.
I've
on this
accidentally
show.
thrown away something that was still in a wrapper, so that doesn't count. And I'm like,
I put some turkey meatballs. I got somewhere. I got to a hotel and I had turkey meatballs with me, and the room wasn't ready. So my fiance was like, "You can't give the turkey meatballs with the luggage." So she's like, "You need to throw those out." So I put them in the trash at valet, and then 15 minutes later, I went back and I pulled them out of the trash and ate them. And
So social media marketing, how does that work?
you know what?
Yeah. How does that work? Wow. Like it was MySpace first. That's
would
how
you
it
rather
started.
talk about turkey meatballs or social media marketing?
Wow.
Dang, dude. So
I can't say I've ever done that.
Yeah.
I might have dropped something on the floor and then done the whole 5-second rule.
Yeah.
But I've never had a 15-minute rule. That's next level.
should see this
I'm not there.
You should see this guy. We'll go on hikes, and he'll show up, and he's like, coming. And he puts his shoes on with no socks, but then on top of that, he has holes in his toes. And he's running up a dirt mountain and down the mountain with his toes hanging out.
Dirt in there.
And you eat out of the trash.
And I eat out of the trash.
Wow.
But
He
he's
gets
ready
done.
for the apocalypse, man.
Dude, it's not the world's not ending yet.
COVID did not mess with him at all.
This guy
Never got
survives.
COVID. Yeah, dude.
I do feel that way. I feel like I'm like I have a lot of bacteria on me,
Probably because you ate out of the trash.
so I never get sick. Which my friend made a great point. He's like, yeah, but what about the rest of us? Like you're carrying around all this bacteria. But yeah,
I always credited my my good health as far as like not ever getting sick.
Yeah.
Because I was always on planes and I was always around people, so I felt like I've been exposed to everything.
Yes.
And so everybody back home was like, "Oh my God," and I'm like, "Sorry."
Yeah.
good immune system.
Ebola, yeah, I inhaled that in freaking Tucson. It was good. Yeah.
I'm good.
Dang.
I, on the other hand, did get COVID one time.
How was it? It's awesome.
You know what sucks is that like I didn't know it was COVID I had. I honestly thought that I was having issues with my diabetes. I thought that my sugar had dropped because anytime my sugar drops, I get like, I get lethargic and I'll start breaking out in a cold sweat. And I'm just kind of like, my body aches when that happens. And I had done a show in San Antonio. And when I went up, I was fine. And when I got off the stage, I was a mess. And everyone's like, test them. And then they tested me and it came back negative. And so they're like, man, maybe it's your sugar. So they brought in paramedics and they're, hooking me up to IVs, giving me fluids and stuff. And it was 24 hours of just like the shakes and just cold chills. And that was it. And then the next day I was fine. And then the day after that is when I finally tested positive. When I tested positive, I was already past it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I didn't even realize it.
Was this like beginning of COVID, like early 2020, or was this
Yes,
like?
it was the beginning.
Oh dang, that was a scary time too.
Yeah,
that was
it
when
was-
people
it
were
was-
like, people are just dropping dead, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a time where like, fat people would look at each other like, if you get it. that's it right there. Just your every underlying condition, bro. Hope you don't get it, but if you get it, yeah, you were the most. Because I was in every single one of those categories of high risk,
Yeah. And to have your diabetes, how does that like? Do you have to take insulin every day? I don't know anything about diabetes. Explain it to me.
Good for you, first of all. Yeah, well, I wear a monitor to let me know when my
sick.
sugar gets out of control.
Okay.
This thing is constantly testing, my sugar levels.
Yeah.
So if it goes too high, an alarm goes off. If it goes too low, an alarm goes off. So either I need to inject to bring the sugar down or eat something like honey or orange juice to bring it back up.
Damn, split the difference.
Yeah. But I mean, I think this is a game changer right here. Once I started wearing the monitor, because you never have to prick your fingers. That's part of the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
people don't want to do it. They're like, you got to self, inflict. You got to,
Yeah.
like, and then the blood. People don't want to do it. This thing, I change it out every 2 weeks.
That's
No
nice.
problem.
How many times a day does that go off?
It'll go off. I know when it's going to go off. I've been yelled at enough times to know.
You know it's
All right.
time to eat.
Yeah.
Right?
I know what like, okay, I'll look at a meal and I'll go, I'm good. Nope. If I eat that, it's going to go off. And I always keep it in the car. I keep the monitor in the car. And so as soon as I get to the car, I open the door. Beep, beep, beep. I know. That's why I didn't take you in the restaurant. I didn't need you yelling at me in there. I always know. And so it educates you and it teaches you, you already know what's going to set it off.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll give myself too much of an injection and I'll go to bed. And then when I'll wake up to the thing going off because my sugar's hitting like 60, which is stupid low.
Right.
And then when I get up, I'm all like, dizzy and it feels like COVID.
Yeah.
Dang.
And you have to eat something right away.
And I have to,
Does it have to be something specific, or does it have to be something?
It's got to be something that's going to get in my system fast. So I have regular like sodas right there in my fridge.
Yeah.
So I'll drink a soda and it'll level off in a few minutes.
Right on. Any like meat and cheese doesn't help with
Meat
that.
and cheese does
No?
not do it. Actually, meat and cheese, no sugar in that, so I can eat all the meat and cheese. But when I have the pasta will set off the thing in about an hour.
Dang, dude. When did you get diabetes?
I venture to say it's been at least 15 years. But yeah, once I took it serious, because that was one of those things where I just been writing it and I was not doing what I was supposed to do. COVID for me kept me home, and I was allowed to focus on nothing but my health during that time. So I went and saw, a specialist, and he's the one that got me hooked up on a monitor.
Right on.
Yeah. You got to get back to that.
No, I'm really good about it.
Yeah,
that's why I'm still here.
But you got to get back to COVID times.
Oh, yeah.
I
know.
Yeah.
So do you, dude.
I know. I was eating.
No more meatballs.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I was eating jelly beans at 3 a.m. last night. I woke up.
Jelly beans.
I woke up in the morning, and I was like really proud of myself. I was like, because I eat in the middle of the night. It's a really bad habit. And I was so proud of myself. And I was like, yeah, I didn't eat last night in the middle of the night. I slept through the night. And then I just saw this massive thing of jelly beans in my bed. Like I didn't even remember that I.
Was it in your bed or was it in the trash? Was it in the trash?
It's in the trash first. And you pulled it out.
Oh yeah, the other night we were driving to pick up my daughter's boyfriend, and I don't have his phone number, but my fiance does, and she's driving. She's like, grab my phone. She's like, text him and let him know we're coming. And so I text here with like an exclamation point, but it came out as "Here, babe," like that. To a 14-year-old.
Bad luck. Pretty bad luck, dude.
You feel good about himself? He's like, damn.
You don't have kids, right?
It's funny because my son just messaged me as you're saying that.
Oh yeah, you do have a kid. That's right.
Look, I have him on the phone.
How's that?
It says baby fluff.
Baby Fluff.
Does it say that?
Yeah, baby fluff.
Baby Fluff.
That's awesome.
How old is he?
He is. He's about to turn 26.
Oh wow!
Yeah. No, he's a dude. He's a bro.
Dude.
Yeah. Mine's 17. My son is 17, and he's a bro now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best.
Do your son's friends know that you're his dad? Like they're like, oh, your dad's fluffy.
This is
yeah.
Tell us a joke.
How does that? Yeah. Is he more encouraged by his friends to be funny because he knows that they know that you're like a
He's
stand-up?
26 years old, Brandon.
I mean, when he was growing up.
When he was
growing up.
When he was growing up,
You're not funny like your dad.
He's growing up.
that was never his thing.
Yeah.
But no, his friends were always over the house, and so
Yeah.
I feel like I grew. They grew up with me as well. So it wasn't like After a while, it was very normal because they were just always over the
You have to
house.
perform.
You're so down to earth too. Like you're not. Like I'm just loving talking to you because you're just like so regular and.
Thank you.
It's really nice. Like
You calling me basic?
What's your coffee drink?
I fly private, goddammit.
You just play
I will not be
with my chihuahuas.
with my chihuahuas. I will not.
What's your greatest extravagance besides the private jets?
Let me show you this watch right here. This is my Boba Fett watch. I bought this at Comic-Con.
Oh, it's sick.
This is my favorite watch, and I do have a collection of watches. But look at that. The strap in there. It's like the military strap.
Whoa, dude, that's cool.
Yeah,
This looks
I was
expensive.
all excited.
Are you into Star Wars?
Yes. So I want to say that watch cost me about $300. It's a pretty cool watch.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
300,000?
No, it's Star Wars, not SpaceX.
Dang, man, that's cool.
But the cars is definitely the big one, and then I recently got into collecting watches. So I do have a collection of watches. It's rare that I'll put one on.
Yeah.
It has to be a big event or something for me to take a chance.
Yeah.
On rocking one.
Damn. All right. Well, this has been really fun. You're awesome.
Thank you.
You're just like, it's just cool.
What's up? All of a sudden, the quarter Mexican leaves, and now we got to end the show. Was he the piece that just?
Yeah, we lose one Mexican, and then we only have two Mexicans. I'm sorry, dude.
He's outnumbered, and now it's like, no, I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. The ratio's off.
How much money did you make at Dodger Stadium that night? That's what I want to know.
A lot of people think that I made a killing.
Yeah.
However, the amount of money that was spent not only on the staff and the renting of the facility and the promotion. There was a lot of money spent on promos. I did not want empty seats, and I would rather go broke promoting and making sure that we oversold than making a profit. I was not concerned about making a profit.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've heard that about MSG actually.
MSG, yeah,
Same thing.
Madison Square Garden, not the stuff that makes Chinese food taste amazing.
Keeps you coming back for more.
No, that I want to say that I think we broke even on it.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of money on promotion. A lot.
Damn.
I was not about to take a chance.
So it's just more of like a vanity play.
Well,
to be able to say
here's
you
the
did
thing.
it.
Once we did the show and it was edited, clearly I made a killing on it through Netflix.
Got it.
Because we recorded a special, so Netflix took really good care of me, and then of course there was the performance fee.
I was talking about this yesterday with Adam Ray, and what does a Netflix special pay? That's what we were talking about.
I think it depends on the comic.
Right.
Netflix has been known to pay as little as $100,000 for a comedy special, and I think Chappelle's made. God, I can't speak on exactly how much, but
it was like 60 mil, I think it was, but it was like 4 specials.
Yeah. So it ranges.
And what about
depending
Gabriel
on-
Iglesias?
Gabriel Iglesias has made a comfortable living with Netflix. They've taken exceptional care of me.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Can't get it out of him.
A lot. I consider myself to be in the top 3
Oh, wow.
at Netflix.
Everybody
always talks about
that's Chappelle,
Yeah.
Rock, and then Gabriel Iglesias.
Well, yeah, but remember,
or maybe
there was
he's
like,
the
they
head
were
of
talking
Rock.
about Amy Schumer, and they were talking about all these other comics that were in the mix.
Oh,
But
Amy
no.
Schumer too.
Yeah, I'm easily top 3 on the pay scale.
I suppose we could look it up right now.
If you want to, yeah. If you really want the scoop, dude, you got it on your phone. You have endless
I
information.
guarantee you that coming up now, based on the performance, I know that Tom is going to get next go around. I'm sure he'll get an impressive raise.
Oh yeah,
because his special did very well.
it did.
Very well. Every day I turn on Netflix and I'm like, he's still in the top 10.
Yeah.
And if you're still in the top 10 2 weeks later, you're performing very well.
Oh, okay.
You don't need Netflix to give you the report because they're very stingy with the numbers.
They don't give you numbers.
They don't want to give you the information.
They don't even give you the numbers.
They'll give me an idea. Like they won't give you the actual legit breakdown. Not like if you did like, let's say a sitcom and they're like, oh yeah, the reports are in and this many people tuned in.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the ratings.
No, they keep everything.
And you have no stand-up tips for me.
Is that mainly what this is? You just want
the only reason I brought him here.
How do I
lesson?
get myself
Dude,
in
I
this
gotta be on
position?
stage tonight at 8 o'clock. I don't know what I'm gonna
get
do.
myself in this
Hey, maybe we
position?
put a blonde wig on you.
You go on out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Nash. Hey, he's funnier than normal.
So I'm divorced. My kids are getting older.
Where do you tan?
Yeah, I've always heard that about Netflix too. They don't release like anything. Like even for shows, they barely release like how many people watch anything. It's interesting.
That's what they're saying about the strike is that the actors want more money and Netflix won't show how much money they have because they don't have the money.
Yeah,
and it's not as good as you think. And the profits are not there, and they spend so much on so many shows. Like this man's special, which
If
I'm
you're
sure he
if you're
got 20
moving
mil.
the dial, they're gonna compensate you for moving the dial. But if people aren't, if you don't get that bump, they're
right.
because people could say whatever they want about Chappelle, good or bad. He moves the dial.
Yeah.
He moves the dial. People talk about him. They talk about him. They talk about him. They talk about him.
Yeah.
And hey, even if you don't like him, you're gonna want to see what they're talking about, and that's gonna keep moving that dial.
I mean, it creates a conversation. Controversy. I mean, yeah, controversy can kind of do that, right?
You saw what happened years ago when MTV banned freaking Andrew Dice Clay.
Yep.
Made him the biggest comic in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I mean, it's
He was the first one I saw performing at Madison Square Garden.
yeah, that's right.
I'm sure he made a profit.
Yeah. What's he like?
You know what?
You ever
I've
run into
actually
him?
yes, but I feel like I met the later Andrew Dice Clay. I
Yeah.
feel like I met Andrew Clay.
The
I
Dice
know what
Man
you
wasn't
mean.
there anymore.
Yeah, no. When I met him, it's like I met him and his son, His son's very talented.
Max.
We were doing a
I think is his name.
we were doing a benefit to raise money for Freddie Soto's family. Freddie Soto was a comic that used to play at the Comedy Store years ago. Super funny, and unfortunately, it was he's no longer with us. And we were trying to raise money for him in El Paso, which is where he was from. And I did a show. It was Dice and Ralphie May and myself. And I got a chance to sit and talk with him. He was super nice.
Yeah.
He was super nice and just really calm. And I remember seeing him at the store, and I was always afraid to approach him because I'm like, man, that's Andrew Dice Clay. I don't want to, But no, he was just very, very just warm and cool. And this is my son. And son was a big fan. And it was very pleasant.
That's the sense I
very,
got.
very nice.
That's the sense I got from him when I would hear him on like Howard Stern and stuff. Like that character is not the real guy at all.
Like, sorry, I'm saying you're nice. Very nice. Pleasant. Good hugs.
I'd love
Good
to meet
hugs.
him. All right. Well, listen, this has been fun. No stand-up tips.
Stand-up tips.
Get a mic that works. Just gotta make sure the mic sounds good.
Be welcoming.
Be welcoming.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
You want to make that stage your home. That's your home. You want to be as comfortable as possible up there. So I mean, like with me, I wear what's comfortable, not what's gonna look the best. I want to be comfortable. If I'm comfortable, I'm gonna give that crowd a good show. Making sure that stage feels like I'm at one with it, not like
Yeah, and they want you to do well too. Like they want to laugh.
It doesn't
Right.
feel that way.
Really? You think they're praying for your downfall?
What about opening jokes? What's your best opening joke? What's a good one that I can
think-
have? No, I'm kidding.
it's weird because when I do the shows, it's pretty much I like anytime I do a crash a show. If I crash a show and people freak out, I say, man, I go, thank you. I go, I don't know if you guys are excited that it's me or that you didn't pay for me. And that's my favorite just opening.
That's great.
But that's when I crash a show.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's when I crash a show. But with my shows, it just it varies.
Yeah.
It varies. People are just excited, and I get a lot of heckling in my shows, but the heckling is very positive. It's a lot of I love you. Oh my God.
People won't
Thank
shut
you
up.
for being here.
Yeah.
Last night I was telling a story about my mom and my dad and the situation that they were in years ago. It was very quiet. There's 7,000 people at the Pacific Amphitheater, and all of a sudden some guy in the crowd yells out, "Bullshit!" And I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" I go, "I'm telling you a story about my dead mom and how her and my dad, and you're gonna yell this out in the middle of my set." And so I started like just reaming this dude, and he wouldn't talk back.
Yeah.
And then later on, after the show, my cousin was in the crowd, and I guess he approached the guy or whatever. He goes, the guy yelled out bullshit because he was saying it was bullshit how your dad was like handling the situation with your mom, not that your story was bullshit. I'm like, okay, well, yeah.
He probably should have finished the sentence then. He should have
yeah,
been,
yeah.
he should have been
Wow,
like, that's bullshit.
Next time he should, yeah. So I felt bad about that. I was like, because I went in hard on the guy.
Yeah.
You said you got booed once in Ohio. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got booed in Cleveland, Ohio. I went up on stage and I had told a bit where I the bit I've done on TV before. It's about police officers driving Priuses.
Yeah.
And the original version of the story goes, I was at this university in Michigan where apparently police officers drive Priuses. And I said that in Cleveland, not knowing the politics of college football. And they freaking went off because I said Michigan.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, like the boo was real.
Damn.
And finally, once the crowd was willing to listen, I finished my set, but I was in autopilot because I'm like, oh my God, dude, what the hell? And then at the end, I told the crowd, sorry for the misunderstanding. I promise I'll do my homework in the future. That'll never happen again.
How are you supposed to know?
I didn't know. And then I walked off the stage and someone yelled again, boo, that's why you suck. And then I turned around and I said, and that's why LeBron left. And then I walked off. Petty 2.0.
Guys, there you go. There's Gabriel Iglesias, one of the true greats here in my house.
In your shed.
In my shed.
Yep.
And go check him out. It's fluffyguy.com. Go see him. Go buy tickets. If you can get any, I'm sure they're all sold out.
Yeah.
For 500,000, will you open birthday presents? For 500,000. No.
For 500.
No. $1 million.
Humorous. I'll hand you humorously hand you gifts.
No.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And go check out Brandon on TikTok,
Oh,
Instagram.
dude, I got it. Use props on stage. That's what you should do. There you go.
Have you ever seen a good prop comic?
Just Carrot Top.
Yeah, just him.
Carrot Top's funny.
He is.
Carrot Top gets me.
One time, I always felt bad for Carrot Top because one time we were at like a karaoke bar, and I was with Horatio Sands and Nick Swartzen, and Carrot Top walks up to Horatio Sands and he goes, "Hey man, I really think you're so funny." On SNL, and Horatio Sands goes, "Oh, you too, man. I think you're really funny too." And Carrot Top goes, "You don't have to say that." Like that. Like he almost was like embarrassed of like who he is, which I don't know if that was a long time ago, but that always made me feel really bad because he makes people laugh. He goes out, he kills it, he crushes it.
He's got a residency in freaking Vegas.
Yeah,
He's
in
been there
Vegas
forever.
Would you ever do that, a residency?
I think that if I was in a place where I didn't want to travel anymore, I definitely would. We need to change the name of this podcast to The Long Goodbye. Because we've been saying bye for the last hour. Yeah, and so far we've had the quarter Mexican, Italian leave. That was like half hour ago. And
I grew up in Boston. My mom was Jewish.
yeah. By the way, this is a very Mexican thing. We always say, no, nos tenemos que ir, gracias. Bye, nos vemos. Hey, how did you make those quesadillas? The salsa and oh, God.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to let you go, but yeah, we got to go. All right, go
This
check
time for reals.
What'd you say?
This time for reals.
This time for reals, yes. All right, bye, guys. We'll see you next time.